Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to take you through a high-level presentation of what we have as the fleet management system. And I'm not going to be keying in any data here. I just want to show you the capabilities of the system for this one. I'm going to do a more comprehensive demo a little bit later. So I'll start with the settings. Here we have a place where you can do basic settings so that you don't have to keep putting in obvious data, like for example where the vehicles, the fuel of your vehicles are coming from. So you can just select a warehouse there where you are storing that. You have sales item groups, so this is a group again of the items that you're selling. Which groups are they going to be coming from? You have fuel item group. Again, you need to have a group of your fuel items. So those are just groups of the items that you can just go and create if they already don't exist. Then you also have to select which item within the items list are you treating as fuel, so you can just call that item fuel as well. Then here we have expenses. These are expenses in the chart of accounts. So for the purposes of the accounting department, you need to tell the system which accounts you are treating as your expense accounts that are going to be affecting fleet. So this is going to be something like the per diems of the drivers. It's going to be like lunch for your drivers. It's going to be something like fuel for the vehicles, and so much and so on and so forth. Then you have cash and bank accounts. This is for the sake again of your incomes. So which banks, which bank accounts or cash accounts are you treating or are you using rather for the fleet management system? Then here we have the accounting dimensions. These are going to be helping you and your management team to know which monies belong where. So the accounting dimensions, again, you can add rows here and you can put all your accounting dimensions right there. So that is what we have as the settings. And now I'm going to go into the next tab where we are going to be keying in our vehicles. Now this one is a trailer, because again, remember, most of the vehicles that you are going to be using for the transportation are going to be trailers. So we have a place where you can key in the information of the trailer. So you have the number plate of the trailer, we have the chassis number, we have the trailer make. Yeah, we have the year of make, we have the number of axles that the trailer has. Then we have the trailer type, whether it's flatbed, it's skeleton, it's box body, fuel tanker, or is drop side. Now remember, these ones you can add if you somehow you come up with another trailer type. You can of course add that one there. Then here we have the tire specification, whether it's single or it's double. You can put that there. Then we have suspension type. It could be either leaf spring or air suspension. You can put that there. Then down here we have the documents of the trailer. For example, where you have maybe the inspection documents, the registration documents, all those things, you can put them here so that you can easily access them when you need them. The third thing is transportation order. Now we have the trailer and we have some settings. Now we go to the order. Somebody has ordered us to transport something. We need to capture information. Number one is the date of the order, which comes as the current date. So it depicts today's date as the current date, but the way we have made the system, you can definitely select a different date there. Then we have the customer. Who is it that we are transferring the items to? It could be Karani Joffrey, it could be somebody else. If the customer is not there, you create the customer. Then down here you can just ignore the series, but again remember that series must not be the way we have made it. You can make it to the series format that you want, and we are going to customize that. Then this being a transportation order, and you could be having a number of companies. Here we have the company, so that you are able to specify which company are you transferring this thing to. Then we have transportation type. It could be cross-border or it could be internal. Yeah. Then here we have cargo information. Now in cargo information we capture a number of things. It's important that I show you this. The first one is the size. It could be loose, it could be 40 feet or 20 feet. That is the size of the container. Container number is going to go here. Then we have the BL number, we have the number of packages, and I want to go through this section first. So up here we have the net weight. This is in tons. We have the gross weight. This is again in tons. And then we have the tier weight. This again is in tons, and you notice that net weight is mandatory, so you cannot have a container which you don't know the net weight. That is going to be very useful, especially when you are going through the road, because there's going to be a lot of inspections. You don't want to break those rules. Then we coming down here, this is the cargo location country. Where is the cargo coming from? These are the list of all the countries we have. So you can select any country there, and we are going to put that back to Kenya. Then we have the destination. Now sometimes you could be transporting goods. For example, if you are in Kenya, you could be transporting from Nairobi to Mombasa, or Nairobi to Eldoret, or maybe Nairobi to Mandera. You could be transporting from Mombasa to Eldoret, all those places. So the country is going to be Kenya to Kenya. But if it's transborder, you're going to be transporting it from Kenya, maybe to something like Tanzania here, or Uganda, or Malawi, or wherever else you are taking your cargo. The other thing is the cargo location city. So these cities, you see here we have a filter. So the only cities that are going to be showing here when you select Kenya are going to be those cities that are within Kenya. So currently in the system I have just two, Eldoret and Nairobi. So you can select, for example, this one is coming from Nairobi and it's going to Eldoret. So these are the places where the cargo is going. Then here you have the cargo type. You can specify the cargo type, and then you have extra details. So this is an open field where you can type everything you want to type about your cargo. All the information you feel is important for people to know who are transporting, you can go ahead and put that information there. The other thing, now you can assign this thing to a vehicle. I don't have to go that. And then you can create an invoice. Now when you create an invoice, the way we have done the system, it will create an invoice depending on your agreement. So when we are implementing this for you, you're going to tell us what is the amount of down payment that you need from the customer, so that when we are creating the invoice, we only invoice the down payment, but then within the system we put the total amount somewhere, so that we know how much money is going to be paid when the cargo has been delivered to the customer and accepted. So that is a place where we may need to do some settings to suit you, or rather to suit your specific need. That is a cargo transportation order. The next thing is the trip. Now we have an order. This order is going to go through a route. So we have the trip route. Here in the system you can put all your routes. Of course there is no transporter, I think, who just goes to deliver goods in some random routes. You have routes. For example, if you normally transport from Nairobi to, or rather from Nairobi to, let's say, Kampala, you have that as a route. So you put that one here and you give it a name. So you can even put there Nairobi to Kampala. There is no limit. Then here you need to set the route steps. So route steps basically is something like you can say Nairobi to Nakuru, Nakuru to Eldoret, Eldoret to Malaba, or maybe Nakuru to Kisumu, Kisumu to Malaba, Malaba to Kampala. So those are the steps that we are talking about. Allow me to close this thing so that it stops popping up. Just we can ignore it and proceed. Then after you have put your routes, the next thing that you need to put here is the fixed expenses. What are the expenses that are needed for you to move this thing from through that route? So every route is going to have its own specific expenses, and they are not the same, because if someone is moving from, for example, Nairobi to Nakuru, the expenses are not the same as someone moving from Nairobi to Kampala, and that is obvious. So you can put all the expenses there, so the system will know what to expect. The other thing is transport assignment. Now we have an order, we have a route, and now we need to assign this thing to some guy to transport. So here you can select the container, you select the quantity, you select the expected loading date, you select the container number and the units, right? Then when you come down here, you have the transporter, you select the transporter, subcontractor, then you pick the assigned vehicle, which vehicle is going to be transporting this, what's the plate number. So the moment you select this information is going to be filled automatically because you already have it in the system. Then when we come here, we have the driver, the assigned driver. Again, the vehicle could be having multiple drivers, and they are like that most of the time. So, but even if a trailer is going with like 2 or 3 drivers, there is one driver who is responsible for that cargo. So it's not all of them. There must be somebody who is accountable. So this is the driver you are going to put here. And the moment you select that, this information again is going to be automatically populated by the system. Scrolling down, we have the route details. Remember, we created the route. So you are going to select the trip route. You select it here, and then you pick up the vehicle status. You pick up the previous trip of the vehicle so that the system knows the status of the vehicle. So it's going to come here as the status. Then you select the created trip. And then the next thing, when you come here, we have the service item. And then, of course, after the service item, we have here the customer. So the customer is going to go there. Then you are going to have the currency and the rate. What is the currency? Because sometimes you could be picking, or rather charging the customer, or maybe using a different currency from your base currency. So we have made the system in such a way that you can specify the currency there. Then here we have the loading date and the loading date. We have the ledge permit date, we have the dispatch date, and we have the cargo type. So those things again are very important when you are transporting. The next thing we need to look at is the vehicle attachments. When you are transporting this thing, there are some documents that are going to be required during the movement. So you are going to attach those documents there. And then here we have things like the file number of that transport, import and the import reference. All right, these are just descriptions of this document. So you attach a document and you give it a description. That is what you do when you are assigning a luggage. The next thing is fuel request. When the drivers are on transit, they may need to request for fuel. So this is the reason we have this document. So again, you pick the company, you have the customer, you have the vehicle, you have the driver name and the vehicle plate number, and then here you have the return route. So the main route is the route that they are going to be using as they go, and then here we have the return route, we have the main route approved amount, and then here we have the return route approved amount. Yeah, so they may request some amount, but whatever has been approved is not what they requested. That's why we have the approved amount there. Then we have requested fuel. All the logs of the fuel the driver has requested along the journey are going to be coming here as they go along the journey. Then we have approved stroke rejected requests. All those requests again are going to be logged in a table, and their status is going to be coming here, whether it is approved or rejected, for the sake of reference later in the future when you need to refer to that. Yeah. Then the next thing is the vehicle trip. Now, vehicle trip is a document where you need to specify the trips that the vehicles are making. So we have here the transporter, and then we have the subcontractor, we have the vehicle, we have the plate number. Remember, when you pick that, this fields automatically. And I think I talked about this document. So let me see. No, I don't think I spoke about this one. Okay, let me just go through it. So the next thing I have here is the main trip details. So the start date of the trip, the main customer, the size, and the cargo type. Put that there. Then the trip permits, all the permits that are needed for that trip are going to go there. Main cargo section. So this is the cargo details. That's going to go there. Then we have shipper and consignee. Who is the shipper? Who is the consignee? Who is the main shipper address? What is the main shipper address? Consignee address. Main cargo location. That is the country, and the destination. This is for the trip. It also applies for the trips that could be moving from, say, from one continent to another. For example, when you are moving these things from, say, Japan to here, you can also use this document. You just tweak it a little bit to also serve that purpose. Then we have the main cargo location. This is the city. So you notice that we have the country here, we have the city, and then the consignee. For the consignee, we have the country, the city, and we also have the main cargo of loading point, as we have the loading point. All right. Then down here we have the main route, and then here we have the ETA on destination. Yeah. Then here we have the total distance that's going to cover, and then here we have the total fuel consumption quantity. Then down here we have the main route steps. So again, all the steps, you remember I told you what the route steps are. Those ones are going to come here. Then we have location update. That one is going to go there. Now, the other thing that we have here is the main trip fuel request. So all the requests that have been made for fuel are going to come here. We also have main trip requested funds. So the funds that the drivers are requesting are going to go there. Of course, the driver and also the other person they have, the other people they have in the vehicle. Then we have trip attachments. Every attachment within that trip is going to go there. Then we have the references. Yeah. All right. The last thing that I would like us to look at is this, which is the cargo details. What is the details of this cargo that we are transporting? The size, the container number, the BL number, serial number, number of packages, all these, net weight, tier weight, rather gross weight, tier weight, all those things are going to go there. Then you have the cargo location, country, city, the destination, country, city. So this is when you are putting in the details of the cargo. Every time you have cargo, you need to specify everything that you need to know about that cargo, including the driver who is going to be moving. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to stop there. This is a very high level of demo, just to show you what the system is capable of doing. And maybe I can also talk about the vehicle inspection before I leave. Yeah, because this is a very important document. You also have this one. So we have the trip reference, we have the driver, we have the vehicle plate number when it's being inspected. We have the date and the mileage. So this is going to be filled in when the inspection is happening. Then here we have the routine checklist. Yeah, vehicle type. We have you need to check the lighting, you need to check the brake system, you need to check the engine, you have to check the fuel system, you need to check the powertrain, the electronics checklist, you have to check the electrical checklist, you have to check the steering, the tires, suspension, air system, and then we have the tire and the vehicle tire status and pressure. So you are going to put in to capture all that information, and if there is any attachments, you can also attach those ones there. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg to stop there. If you need more thorough demo, you can reach us and we are going to do that for you. But on a very high level, that is what we have as the fleet management system. Thank you so much. If you have any questions also that maybe are urgent, I will leave my contacts in the description section. You can drop me a message on WhatsApp, or you can write me an email through the website I will leave on the description section. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you or see your questions down there. Bye bye.